RedZoneSports.bet, the British home of American sports.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the SportsHeads NBA edition, sponsored by RedZoneSports.bet. My name is Tori, and I am here alongside Steve and Nick.
Hey.
Hello.
There's only one.
Hello.
Thank
Sorry.
you. So unfortunately, this week we are starting the episode off with some sad news. Our condolences go out to Razul Butler and his wife, Leah LaBelle, who unfortunately passed away this week in a horrific car accident in LA. So our thoughts go to everybody affected, to all of his family and friends and his wives. So moving forward, we're going to start. There's been quite a lot of discussions this week. I think this is going to be an interesting episode, but we're going to start with the trade news. And Steve, I'm going to come to you because this was your prediction a couple of weeks ago. You were thinking that we could see Griffin moving.
Yep.
And he has left the Clippers now, and he's donning a new kit.
Do you know, let's just start off with the first thing that I am absolutely disgusted by the way the Clippers have handled this.
Ooh.
Absolutely disgusted. I mean, if we go back to summer,
Tell him, Steve.
if we go back to the summer and their pitch to him to be a part of the Clippers organisation was they did this fake jersey being put into the rafters, a PA announcer, make it sound like he was going to be a Clipper for life. Then they've decided just a few months later they're going to move on from him. I said at the time that they should have moved away from Blake, moved away from CP3, and that's what they should have done. But they decided to go in a move where they keep Griffin around. That being said, I think they've made the right move now to move on from Blake because things aren't going well, and it'll be interesting exactly how they handle the rest of this season going forward into the off season. What I don't like about this is that the Pistons, for me, have made a really bad decision. They've gone and got, we need a star player in here to go alongside Andre Drummond. So you've had a situation where when you play in the Van Gundy system, he plays with a big man and stretches the floor. That's Van Gundy all over. Now you're going to clog up the paint with Drummond, with Blake. You've got no outside shooting. I don't see how this is going to work at all. This is a really bad move on their part.
So I'm very surprised about this whole move too. But for Detroit, I think what they're trying to do is copy what they were doing in New Orleans with the two bigs. But the Blake and Drummond combination, I think, can be pretty good for the East. If this was in the West, I wouldn't agree with it. But as far as what you said, as far as the Clippers, I completely agree with you. I thought they handled it as poor as can be, especially these days. Where how many times have we heard players saying, "Oh, I hate that I found out on ESPN or a tweet or something," and you think company or teams will learn from that, and they just don't. And I think that's the biggest insult, and I think it's going to affect the Clippers going forward, trying to pick up free agents.
Yeah, I mean, Blake's come out and said, doesn't he, that he found out on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's how he found out.
It's
I mean, he is the franchise guy, and you
committed
to
this
move
money
on.
to.
Yeah, you committed to him as a person, not just about the money here. And now you've now gone a few months down the line and basically, in some respects, stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
This has got Clippers written all over it. We had the whole Donald Sterling situation a few years ago. The Clippers have been in disarray for 20 plus years at times. At the end of the day, LA will always be Laker territory. It will never ever be Clippers country.
No, that's right.
It will never be the case, and they've always tried to do this. And now you've got a scenario of, we talked about DeAndre Jordan going somewhere. DeAndre Jordan now has to go somewhere. But what we understand is the Clippers are listening about DeAndre still. They want to try and move Lou Williams as well. Now it's going to be interesting where they go. I, for me, think they're going to be split up. I think DeAndre will eventually go to the Cavs. They will work that one out.
Yeah.
But I tell you where I'd love to see Lou Williams go. I would like to see Lou Williams go to the Toronto Raptors. Because I think they're one piece away from potentially making some serious noise in the Eastern Conference.
I can see that.
I'd love to see that move.
No, I could definitely see that. I don't know. I love trades. I love big guys moving, so I'm all in for this. But it's funny that both teams are battling. They're in the 8th or 9th spot right now. So he's moved from the battle for the 8th spot in one conference to the next.
And we've got all these other players on the block. I mean, this week alone, we've seen the Mirotic situation between New Orleans and Chicago.
Like he was
that couldn't work out because basically Mirotic can decide his own destiny. He wants the team to invoke that team option. The Pelicans didn't want to commit further than this year, so that trade fell apart. Tyreek Evans has now been taken off the court so that he can potentially be moved, much like Mirotic. Kemba Walker's available, but Charlotte are saying we want an all-star. So I think in the end of the day, he's going to stay put. You still got the George Hill to the Cavs talk. all of this before
I
the
love it.
8th of February deadline.
Yeah.
And you've got teams that are like, well, what can we do? Do we stay put? Do we move on? Are we buyers? Are we sellers? It's going to get crazy.
And
That's
so
why
we've
it's
literally
fun.
got less than a week.
Yeah.
I reckon
Yeah.
next week's show is going to be absolute
gonna be
mayhem.
who
we're
who's left.
gonna be discussing our content, and then 24 hours before.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, we'll be making
Hopefully, anyway.
we'll be making our predictions about what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Some will come true, some won't come true, but we're
That's
going to
quite
get
fun.
something coming out of there that
Yeah.
we're not going to see. Because for me, I think the Cavs are the ones on the block here, and they're the ones that are going to have to make the decision.
They have to do
and make
something.
it fast.
Yeah.
Because I don't think George Hill's the answer on his own. They've got to go and do something else. I mean, we'll talk about injuries in a second and Kevin Love, but they've now are in a position where they've got to make a move because everyone else is just sitting around waiting for that one, I think, now.
Yeah. So moving on,
Exciting times.
we did just touch on injuries just then. I'm actually going to go to last night's first, although
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the
biggest.
one right now. Isaiah Cannon.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
I
nice.
just brought up the picture again. I can't.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst I think I've ever seen.
When you have a headline that says gruesome, I think that the thing you should do is not look at it.
I didn't even need to. You don't even need to go on to the headline. The pictures come up
Yeah.
as soon as you type his name in on
yeah,
Google
no,
now. There is no. You will see this at some point. There is
no, I
no
won't.
escaping it for long.
Because that thing will be imprinted in my brain, and I will not watch it.
I'm saying I can't
it's
stand that
horrific.
stuff.
I've literally just seen the picture.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the
yeah,
video.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't even like it when they do the TV replays. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the worst one for me wasn't even in the NBA. It was a couple of years ago in the March Madness when the young kid. I mean, you'll probably remember that one.
Oh God, I can't
That was awful.
He took a three on the side. Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah,
I should know his
and that
name.
was
Can
on. Yeah, I can't remember what his name was, but that was. You was watching the game live. You had no option.
Oh yeah,
weren't
and you
watching
heard
it.
it too. I remember
yeah.
you heard the
Yeah, you heard the
or
snap.
something. Yeah.
It
That was a bad one.
it
And
was
Gordon
horrific.
Hayward's earlier this year. This one reminds me a lot of that. I was saying earlier that it looked
Yeah.
a lot, even
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
leg, the positioning, and the one thing that I was amazed at, the trainer said he was amazed too. He came in, snapped his leg back, and he didn't utter not one word of being in pain.
Do you
Unbelievable.
know, the interesting thing is, though, I've spoken to various athletes about this, is that athletes have a very different pain threshold to the rest of us.
Absolutely. And
When-
it's
Well,
probably
you're running.
shock
The thing is,
and-
as well, though,
yeah.
you're running off adrenaline at the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
anyway.
you are,
Then you
and-
have the shock.
And it probably doesn't. You're like, well, that's my leg all backwards. That's weird.
Yeah.
yeah,
Whose leg is? Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
maybe I won't play next game.
Yeah. Ugh. It is gruesome. Very.
But we have had other injuries as well. I
We
mean,
have. So Boogie Cousins. Ooh, that
Boogie
was-
Cousins is the interesting one because, you know, at the end of the day, he's the one that could potentially have been moved. They took him off the block. Now he may have played his last game as a Pelican. You've got the Kevin Love one, which has obviously come out as well. You know, it's 6 to 8 weeks for him. So the Cavs are now in even more disarray.
Just what they didn't need.
No,
now.
they didn't.
Yeah.
Completely didn't need
Yeah.
it. And then you've got John Wall out 6 to 8
Yeah.
weeks.
Ah.
But the one I think a lot of people are not talking about is the Andre Roberson one, which I
Yeah.
think is a huge loss for the Thunder.
100%.
And that's, you know, one of their glue guys that they rely on, and now he's out for the rest of the season as well.
And those
That's
guys, that's a
huge.
defensive specialist. Guys
Yeah.
who he doesn't want to shoot. All he wants to do
No.
is defense. You don't find many of those guys. So for Thunder, that I thought that was huge as well. I think the John Wall one is. I mean, obviously he's a marquee player, so it's a big loss.
Yeah.
But I really do think that's going to put the Wizards in free fall right now. I'm
They'll-
going to see
they'll-
them just dropping down. The
Well, I mean,
standings.
you've seen the Pelicans already. They've gone in a free fall straight away. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you're relying on Anthony Davis, and no disrespect to him. But I mean, Davis hasn't exactly proven himself to be that durable at times, so he
That's
could
right.
so easily go down as
That's
well. And then the
100%.
Pelicans are really in disarray.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things around this at the moment with injuries that could blow up a lot of teams and see a lot of teams going free falling out of their playoff positions. But John Wall at least is going to be back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's only
Yeah.
going to be gone for 6 to 8 weeks, which seems to be like the
This is like a cleanup surgery.
it's just that's exactly it. They've probably done it at the right time. And then of course it's all been what's become known as a Team LeBron curse. Because John Wall, Boogie Cousins,
I just think nobody
Kevin
wants to
Love.
play with him. If I was him, I would take that hint.
I
Nobody
just,
of the
but
guys
do,
are
do,
now
I'd rather
gone.
do you
break my
not
own leg.
feel like at the moment there's just more like I feel whenever I check my like news feed, it's just all based on injuries.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting
But-
more and more brittle.
No, I don't actually think. But the thing is, the game is so different than when me
But
and Nick
wouldn't you
was
say it's
watching
less physical now? than it was before. Yet there's more injuries.
You have to be
more
better
athletic.
athletes.
Yeah.
You have to be better athletes now than you did back then.
And the game is faster, all that. So
Yeah.
and
Do you know?
It is
do you know
weird
what
that
the
it's
first thing you're
happening
going to see about all of this is in the off season we're going to get the chat again around reducing the number of games because people will take one look at it and go, all these players have led up the number of games that people have missed and go, right, okay, well, you know, it's obviously too many games again. I mean, they've changed the schedule around quite a lot. I think they're going to tweak it again. Injuries are going to happen. I mean, none of us want to see key star players missing.
The NBA doesn't want that either, of course.
No, we don't want to see that. I mean, all of us would love, if possible, for Hayward to be back for the playoffs. That's what we'd like to see.
Yeah.
You know, and John Wall to be healthy, Kevin Love to be healthy. I mean, as I said, Boogie's the bad one because obviously he's not definitely bad.
Terrible. It's a shame.
And the Pelicans actually, for all of our criticism of them,
maybe
they finally worked. I think they finally had worked it out.
They were looking good. No, they were.
In Gentry's, all of a sudden, he could have taken the noose from around his neck.
Exactly.
Because I think he actually got his job saved at one point.
Probably now that he's injured, probably tighten it even more.
Well, injuries don't save you.
No, I'm sorry, him. He's probably giving up.
Yeah, I mean, as proven earlier this season with Memphis, they got injuries and then got rid of their coach.
Yeah, it's just.
I keep having thoughts of injuries now going through my head.
Well, there's a lot of them around. That is exactly it. There is a lot of them around, and again, it proves that you've got to have good depth.
And it's, you know, where are we at in the season? Is at the halfway point, you know, players are getting tired now, injuries have occurred, but it is quite random that this week that so many at once it just happened. So
I think the rest of the team LeBron needs to be wrapped up in bubble wrap.
There was a blood moon and a lunar eclipse. So.
Maybe that has nothing to do with it.
I'm blaming it on astrology. I'm blaming it on astrology.
I do blame it.
Next up, Steve, you're going to love this one. This is Magic's come out and said, told you you'd love this one, and said that Giannis will bring the Bucks a championship one day. Do you think Giannis will stay there long enough for this to actually come to fruition?
I see. For me, I think Giannis is what I call a 1B. He's not a 1A, and I don't think you can win a championship with a 1B.
I love that. I 100% could agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
couldn't agree more.
That's exactly where you are. You have to have those 1A type players, which when I say that is what I refer to as a superstar. Giannis isn't still quite there yet because I don't.
He's a star.
He's a star. He is a star. But he's not a superstar at the moment. I think he will be.
Yeah, he's young. He hasn't been playing the game that long either.
Let's look at the fact, we talk around before where you used to have to play in the big markets to attract the big players. You now kind of make your own market. Milwaukee can become a market if players want to try and go and play with Giannis. Yeah. That is absolutely fine. But I think Magic to come out and say this, do you know what? I think this is kind of mind games for Magic. I really do think this. And I think it's going to be a play later on for Giannis to go and play for the Lakers.
Could see that.
I literally think this is mind games.
I mean, I don't know. I love Magic Johnson, but since he started saying Lakers are going to win with Alonzo, is where I started thinking, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
were you watching?
Yeah, well, this was back in the draft. But I don't know. I think I agree. Giannis is. I don't see him being that star that leads the team. I think he's going to have other players around him, and I think they have a pretty decent team. So I do want to see what he does in this playoffs, because the playoffs is where you make your name, really. So for me, it's still way too soon.
I think there's quite a few people who have got some proving to do.
The other thing is as well is you've got to think to yourself now, and it's sad to say, how much you're going to have to wait out the Warriors. That's pretty much what you're having to do. You're waiting them out,
barring injuries. The one team that doesn't get injured.
So you look at it, that team is still very young. I think the landscape of the NBA is not going to change in the next 5 years. I'm sorry to anyone who doesn't want to watch Warriors basketball, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Why you got a Warriors shirt on? You're a Bulls fan. Just realize that already jumping
really,
shit.
No, I'm not. It's comfy.
Okay, there you go.
It's really comfy.
Yeah.
So I'm now coming to you, Nick.
Oh.
Bit more strife in New York right now. So
we keep it interesting.
Porzingis wants playoff basketball. Noah's unhappy with. Wait. I was about to get the name right.
Sorry.
But I mean, do you expect to see some movement come deadline?
No, I don't actually. I think with the Knicks.
Are you happy with how they're playing?
If they were undefeated, I would be happy with how they play. But no, I thought they'd be a little bit higher in the standings, but they're about there. But overall, I think I am kind of happy. I like the team. I have no problem with Porzingis saying he wants to play playoff basketball. I mean, everyone should want to play. But he was saying for him, he's at the point in his career he needs it to get further. So if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, that will worry me because Porzingis is up for a max contract, and you know what I mean. This is year 3 now, and it's in the same boat that we were in the last 2 years. So we'll see. As far as like the Noah thing, I mean, you know, it probably goes to you with that story. With the whole Chicago,
I mean, obviously I know Joakim Noah very well. I never liked the move to the Knicks. It was a horrific contract when they paid it out. I mean, 4 years at
the contract's
$75
ridiculous.
million. I mean, for anyone who watched him play for the Bulls during the season before that, he could barely run up and down the court because he's got such bad feet now. And to give him $70 million, I mean, the Bulls, I was hoping and praying they didn't pay him, and then to see somebody else pay him that kind of money, yeah, of course. I mean, he's a New York guy. You know, he wants to go and play in New York. That's absolutely fine. The problem is they want to move on for Noah. You're hearing this week, you know, we want to try and find a suitor for Noah. Good luck with that one.
He has $56 million owed him 3 years, and he averages 5 minutes a game. Right
He's
now.
not going to. They're not going to get anyone back. And I think the issue here is, I think where teams look at trying to offload these bad contracts is that they end up throwing in other players to get you to take that player and then or draft picks or something like that. I think the Knicks are actually going to have to be a bit more bold about this and say, look, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Let's buy you out.
Phil Jackson made a mistake.
Yeah, buy you out. Get rid of the contract. Because I don't see the reason for giving up more talent just to get something else to take Noah anyway.
I looked into it. There is, and with the league that you can. So he has 3 years remaining, but you can spread it over 5 years. So you pay less, but over a longer period. But then that interferes with, I guess, 2 years from now, the summer that they had all these plans for money. I'm torn in this one. Because I like Noah. I hate the contract. I'd like to see him on the court, and the fact he's not on the court is what worries me. But the Knicks have too many bigs. I think that's what it is. And so this deadline, one of the guys is going to have to go. I hope it's not Canner, but I have a fear it's going to be because if he's playing really well. That will then free time for Noah. Yeah, he's not going to go back to what he was at Chicago, but at least then we're not paying for a guy to sit on the bench.
No, I mean, see, Noah is one of those guys that you love playing with Noah.
100%.
Noah is just, he doesn't leave anything on the court.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the nicest guys going. I've been very fortunate to speak to Noah as well, and he is great, just amazing. And every player around the NBA, for the most part, has got nothing but good things to say about Noah. And I think
he's the guy you want on your team.
Yeah, he is. I mean, certainly for someone like you, I mean, the Noah-LeBron feud from when the Bulls played against the Heat. I mean, Noah personally came out and said, Cleveland. I hate LeBron.
Yeah.
You know,
and Cleveland.
He did. Yeah,
he wants to go to Cleveland.
Yeah, you know,
love it.
He was very outspoken against it, and because he wanted Chicago to be the.
No wonder you guys love him so much.
Yeah,
but
everything makes sense.
But the thing was, though, I remember him in college when he played for Florida.
Yeah.
I wanted the Bulls to draft him, and they got their man. He is the guy that will literally lay it all on the line for you every single game, and he is amazing.
Yeah, you need that.
Former Defensive Player of the Year, just a tremendous person and also basketball player as well.
But arguing with the coaches, and there was a one in
can we just
the
pause
Warriors.
1 second?
Yeah.
Steve just gave serious praise
to a former Bull.
But I do. I give serious praise to a lot of players. I will be, as I said to you before, I will give praise where it's due, but I will also give criticism. I will not sugarcoat rubbish.
Yeah, no, but it's way past it. But what he did in the Knicks Warriors game, he yelled, taken out of the game by Hornacek, yelled at Hornacek in front of the whole bench. You can't do that. You can't do that. So I think the Knicks have done the right thing by not having him with the team for a couple of days, but you need to win games. You got to have him on the court.
Yep.
Or get rid of him. You do something. I don't know. So it's a mess. It is a mess in New York. It does need to be fixed. But they're, you know what I mean? They're one of many teams of this same thing.
The thing is, though, when you talk about Cantor, they're potentially moving.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually think he will move,
I
but that could be the domino effect of what happens with Greg Monroe. Because, I mean, he's just been bought out by the Suns. The Celtics have got the room to get him because they're the ones that got the exception due to the Hayward injury. So I think the Celtics will get him, and then there'll be other teams looking at big men and go, Cantor might be an option.
Mm-hmm. Cantor to Cleveland and with LeBron? No, I don't see that. I hope Cantor doesn't go, but that was just
he will not go to Cleveland.
And I hope not, but we'll see.
No,
we'll see. But then again, you know what I mean? The Knicks they're in the playoff hunt, so going in a 5-game winning streak or something, boom, right back in it.
If they can make it work, I wouldn't mind seeing him in
20
for the Pelicans.
Who? Cantor? Oh, they're Porzingis for a second. I could see that. Pelicans actually, yeah.
Well, next week we'll be able to
confirm.
But all-star teams, they've now been confirmed.
Well, almost. Apart from injuries.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think pretty much every game up until then will be, we'll wait and see. But at the moment, the current standings, how do you feel?
Drummond made it. You happy about that? Finally?
Drummond
Replaced.
finally got in.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sort of waiting, aren't we, for Kevin Love's replacement?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be...
Drummond's replacing Wall.
It'll be Dragic or Simmons. I think it'll come down to one of those two players. I mean, Wall, Love, Cousins, all gone, unfortunately. But
who's replacing Cousins? Actually, I didn't see that.
So you've got Drummond's come in, and Paul George.
Oh, yep.
Which I'm fine with. I've got no issue with that. I mean, they're for me
that.
were the biggest snubs going into the All-Star anyway. And I think Dragic, you've got a perfect case for, with the fact that Miami Heat are playing so well right now. Yeah. So Dragic is a good option. I think a lot of people have got a bit carried away by Ben Simmons, unfortunately.
I do love him. I think people. Maybe. I like Ben Simmons.
He's a cool
I do
guy.
like Ben Simmons.
He is a cool guy,
but maybe
but
not
it doesn't make him an all-star.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a preference on
Dragic?
What, the teams you mean? Or?
The team. I mean, I think he'll go Team Steph.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll go team to be announced later. Because that's pretty much what you can call them at the moment, because no one knows anymore. We've still got a little while yet before the All-Star weekend. So, a couple of
anything
weeks.
can happen. Anything can happen.
See Kyrie and LeBron together again.
Kyrie also is carrying an injury as well, so he may not play.
As well.
Oh, I would love that. If he just decides not to play.
Although saying that, he did sit out against the Knicks last night and the Knicks still got blown out.
We got to move on to the next...
Time is running out, guys. Okay, so a few other quick bits of news. As you're wearing that T-shirt, what do you think about LeBron?
No.
Do you know what? Apparently, if they can open up the room for him, LeBron can potentially go and play for the Warriors.
But do you think he'd even want to?
I do.
He's come out and said he is open to playing there.
Which is...
He'd be open to it.
Of course he would.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like, is he not more of a person who wants to go to a team and mark his territory?
Do you know what? I will say this. I've got more respect for LeBron than my esteemed analyst over here.
I have respect for him. You can't not respect
respectful
LeBron.
of his talent.
More respect.
Yeah.
But I will say this now. I will have zero respect for the guy if he goes and plays in Golden State.
I have zero. The fact it's even being discussed is he just shut him up, get him out of every single story. The guy's good at basketball. He doesn't need to be in every single team and managing every other team. If a guy gets injured, he throws 2 cents into this and that. And the fact he's been through this. He left Cleveland, went to Miami, got ridiculed for it, then came back, and now. I actually did agree with him, actually, the whole Blake Griffin thing, when he's gone to Detroit and he kind of says, it's not fair, if Blake Griffin leaves, then all of a sudden he's a, a turncoat type thing, but if the team sends you, it's just business. So I agree with LeBron on that, but the fact he's even now entertaining this, it's a disgrace. It really is a disgrace. I would, like we talked about before, maybe going to New York, I would stop being a Knicks fan. I think the guy just needs to stay in Cleveland. He's the king of Cleveland, but he wants to go to every other team in the league. I hate him.
Next stop, the White House.
Oh, Jesus.
Listen, you say that. Don't laugh at that.
Do you know what?
You can't laugh at that anymore.
I would be so happy.
But this is the point we have got to with America. How much I love the States. The States is everything.
Do you know, I can just hear the music playing in my ears as I say that.
President. I can't even say it now.
President LeBron. Oh. Anyway, let's move on before he goes on about that. James Harden, 60 points.
60-point triple-double, most points in Rockets history in a single game.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
He is definitely, you've got pushing him now for MVP. He's taken that extra step.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even think there is a discussion around MVP anymore.
Yeah,
I think James Harden has got the MVP wrapped up. And when we took LeBron out of the race anyway, it was for me only between now James Harden and KD. Yeah. I honestly...
And he's just taken that jump, hasn't he?
No, James Harden.
It was a fantastic game.
If he hadn't passed, I'll give you that. He could have got a lot more. He could have knocked on the door of that 81 game.
The guy was... And what I loved about this, Calvin Murphy, the guy whose record he broke, was there. He's a broadcaster, and they kind of had a shot of him. And, usually they kind of look happy for the team who breaks his record, but I genuinely think he was happy.
Yeah, Calvin Murphy's a great guy as well.
Incredible game.
We also had McCollum last night, 50 against the Bulls as well in 3 quarters. I turned off way before then.
Right, yeah.
I can imagine.
I was sick of it.
Yeah, I
28
do like McCollum.
in the first quarter, the Blazers record for McCollum.
Jesus.
28.
I didn't see that.
Was that ridiculous?
Yeah.
It was like kind of like Clay, that quarter he had a few years ago. Oh, it was awful. Yeah, poor game. But we'll mention it anyway, and then we can move on.
I was surprised that you even did mention it.
You've got to give props to a guy 50 and 3/4.
You did. No, that's right.
So that brings this segment to a close. So stay tuned. Next up, we're going to show you a preview of our game of the week.
Hey guys, this is Marcus Smart and you're watching SportsHeads.
This Oklahoma City crowd wants some love from their Thunder.
Over the top, Westbrook. Listen to this crowd.
Ingram all the way. Love that hole.
Westbrook. Here we go again.
Kuzma all the way. Kuzma scores.
The two-handed sledgehammer. Westbrook. Oh! Raised it up like the Statue of Liberty.
You can catch the Lakers at the Thunder game on BT Sport 2 this Sunday at 7 p.m. NBA Sundays is presented by NBA 2K18. So I'm now going to ask you guys your views on this game this Sunday.
I think this is going to be a really easy win for the Thunder. I mean, they're playing great ball at the moment. They've only just lost after an 8-game winning streak. Westbrook is absolutely balling over the last week or so. For me, he's been the best player in the Western Conference over about the last week or so. Lakers struggle mighty on the road. We can't cover that one up. Thunder are chasing down the 4 seed now, which they need to get. That's so important come the playoff time. I think Thunder will win this one quite easily.
Yeah, totally agree. I think this is a 20-point win, really. This is the Thunder, especially with injuries, as we discussed in others. You know, now you're going to be battling for playoff spots. Injuries to other teams, that is. You can overtake them in the standings and such. So this one, I think it'll be down to business for the Thunder, and they'll dominate.
Yep.
So that's our guys' views. Let's check out Rob Holding from Arsenal Football Club and see what he thinks.
Lakers Thunder, this is why I'm watching. The reason why I'm watching this game is I really want to see Lonzo Ball, see how he does in his rookie year. If you haven't heard about Lonzo Ball, you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months.
Ball, throw it down, Lonzo Ball.
And obviously with the addition of Paul George to OKC, it'll be interesting to see how they share the ball with Westbrook and him.
Oh, what a move by Paul George. Wow. And he scored.
It's going to be a good one. Make sure you tune in.
So thanks to Rob for his comments. Now let's look at some of the other games that are coming up this week. Starting off with Saturday's games, we'll go and start with the weekend.
Yeah.
We've got the Heat at the Pistons.
See, this is going to be Blake's second game, I think, as a Piston. I think he makes his debut on the Thursday game. So the Heat are playing really, really well. They're one of the better road teams in the NBA right now. Pistons kind of a bit up and down at home. I think this game's too early for Detroit. I really do. I think they're going to need a little bit more time to mesh. I think Miami win this one on the road and continue to climb the Eastern Conference standings.
You gotta stop reading my notes. That's exactly. I think this game is exactly that. It's just too early. I think Detroit are going to get it together, but it's just too much. Miami playing pretty well right now. Like when a coach takes over a new team, sometimes the team gets that lift with the new coach. I think maybe with the players, it's almost the opposite. You kind of, as Stan Van Gundy was saying, he's worried about Blake getting in and trying to fit in as opposed to dominating. So you've got to get all that together, and we'll see what happens. But for this, I'm going to go Heat as well.
Okay. We also have Rockets and Cavs. I was going to say, to be honest, a couple of weeks back, that might have been a different answer to where we're at now.
My statement with this one is the fact that the Rockets to win this game in a game that the Cavs really don't want right now.
Yeah.
This is just like an absolute nightmare for them against a team that's playing very, very well. Cavs don't look like a playoff team. Rockets are flying. They've won 8 of 10 lately. James Harden. Cavs trying to overcome obviously the Love injury. They're not going to be making a move before then, so it's basically as is for Cleveland as far as we can tell right now. I think the Rockets win this one quite easily.
Yeah.
I've circled the winner, crossed it off, recircled the other one. I'm all over the place on this one. I really am. Everything to me says Rockets, and I want to say Rockets, but I think LeBron will have a huge game in this one. I think he's going to look at what Harden just did in 60 points, and he'll try to get 61. That's what I think.
He's going to have to, but
I just don't think he's going to be able to.
LeBron's not the type of player to have. Yeah, LeBron's not the type of
Since
player
when
to have
you're
that.
a team LeBron?
He doesn't have that type of game though.
No,
That's something he doesn't do.
No.
And it doesn't bode well for success going forward.
It doesn't.
I think
No.
Houston have got way too much for
No, I
Cleveland
agree.
right now.
But I just think the timing.
I think they'll try,
Yeah, I think LeBron.
but I don't
I-
necessarily think they'll pull it through.
I think Houston win this by about 15 on the road.
I'd love that, but I think. Well, we'll see. We shall see.
So next up Tuesday we've got Thunder at the Warriors. I think it'll be. I don't think it's going to be as savage.
First one
think
to
it might
120 points wins it.
Yeah.
For me. This is one of those games that I'm really looking forward to because the Thunder are playing well right now, as we've already just said. The Warriors are the Warriors. Lots of weapons all over the floor, a ton of points wherever you look at it. But I think this is a real place where they're going to miss Roberson. Roberson is going to be a big loss in this game, and I really fear for the Thunder a little bit here. I can see this game being like 140 to 130, something really stupid. Because both these teams are just going to go up and down the court over and over
So
again.
can we just note that it wasn't quite so savage with the Warriors and the Celtics last weekend?
Yeah. What do you mean by savage?
It wasn't. Yeah,
do you mean
it
by
was a close game.
Wait, what do you mean by savage?
Very, very close
The
game.
players
Was
or
it
the
6 points?
No, from the point of view, it wasn't quite such a
blowout.
drastic, like smashing.
Dominant.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm fully agree with Steve on this. I think the Warriors will. I think the Warriors got this one,
Yeah.
but very high scoring, entertaining game, and but these two teams, you never know what's going to happen. Bit of bad blood as well, which I like.
Yeah, the thing we've actually not talked about, and I think it's an interesting one, is the fact we haven't talked about KD against Westbrook. That's what this game is, but we don't really talk about that.
No.
Can we just touch quickly on Embiid and Westbrook the other day? That was one of the funniest. The amount of gifs that or clips that I've seen made of this.
Just the fact that Westbrook is just like bouncing this ball and staring down Embiid while he's doing it was just tremendous.
It is, but it is tremendous. But I want to technical. I do. Back in the day, that'd be taunting. You'd get a T for that.
Yeah.
You can't stare at someone. I love the fact he can, but I would still give him a T.
I would have just wanted to see like a little kid run in there and like take the ball away from Westbrook. I mean, we've seen a guy warming up for the Pelicans this week.
He looked good.
They
too.
really need somebody
He
as
looked
well.
good.
That was amusing.
He wasn't boogieing though. That
No.
guy.
Okay, well, let's move on to the final game of the week.
Final game of the week. We've got Celtics at the Raptors.
This is
Eastern lineup.
This is for me the statement game the Toronto Raptors need.
But will they get it? Is the question.
Celtics are right for the pickings. They really are. They're struggling at the moment. Raptors are 19-4 at home.
That's where it is. It's the home.
Toronto are playing so very well in Toronto. Celtics' record is identical on the road as it is at home. They're the best road team in the NBA right now. I would always favour the home team under this scenario. Toronto have got a lot of weapons, and it'll come down to whether or not Kyrie plays in this one. There could be a scenario where he doesn't play, which I think would be a bit unfortunate. But I think this is another great game. Tuesday for me, shaping up to be a really big doubleheader.
Massive game, a very big game, and it's right before it'll be right.
Deadline?
Yeah, right before the deadline. So I'm everything you said, huge game, but I'm actually going to go with Boston on this one. I think, as you said, a big. Actually, as you started saying, I think this is a statement game for Toronto. I thought you were going to say for Boston, because I would say the same thing. It's a statement game for Boston. You kind of put their mark down.
I think we'll have a new Celtic player in this game as well.
A new Celtic player.
Yeah, I think Monroe will be a Celtic by
By
then.
Tuesday.
I think.
Yeah. They've got plenty of
by
time.
Tuesday,
He's
but I
been
think he'll
bought
be-
out now, and he's just ripe to be picked up.
Yeah.
I think Monroe will be playing for the Celtics.
Next week's show is going to be so exciting. There's going to be so much to discuss.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious. The amount of stuff that's going to be breaking.
Hopefully, it's not other legs.
I was about to say, let's just hope it's no more bones.
Yeah.
But that brings us to a close of this week's show. So please make sure you click that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And until then, have a great week. Bye.
You gotta keep your eye on the ball, boys. Check out our latest hoops offer. RedZoneSports.bet, the British home of American sports.